let's go get on a safari and let's go have some food on the savannah. Which, I don't know about you, but like I always get a little emotional at that, but I also really love watching the magic of Disney's Animal Kingdom. I love watching that show so much. Now I am on my way back to Africa for Savor the Savanna. I'm so excited because I've seen people cover this before. I love the food that's served at Sanaa, and I've heard great things about Jiko, but I haven't been since it reopened after COVID. I love Nomad, it's one of my favorite places, so needless to say, experiencing food that is African inspired and sitting out on the savannah sounds nothing short of absolutely awesome. I'm all checked in, I've got my nice little badge, and where you check in is going to be just to the left of where you access the right entrance for Kilimanjaro safaris.
Happy birthday!
Thank you so much. How are you doing?
We just got on our own private truck that's going to take us out for part of the Savannah tour on our way out to the Boma for dinner. She was just telling us about the ACA accreditation for Disney's Animal Kingdom, and this is actually a really, really big deal because it's not just about making sure that the animals are well cared for or that the habitats are set up nicely. It's really the level of care that's set up in the habitats, but it's also really about conservation. And it's not just about the conservation efforts here in the States, it's efforts with other conjoining zoos and aquariums around the country and efforts around the world to help make care more sustainable, to help save them, to increase population of a particular species that's protected. It's so much. And in fact, there may be efforts that are in partnership with your own zoo in your local city. So definitely check them out and find out what their conservation efforts are, because you never know. It could be linked to something here at Animal Kingdom.
Now, I do see our first animal. Oh, looky! Oh, and you know what's really cool? Okay, so it might be kind of hard to see, but we have our own copy with the striped legs there on the tree. And, oh my gosh,
oh, look at that.
You might see another small brown animal, maybe like half the height of the okapi. They vanish just like that. So that habitat is actually home to multiple animals. There's the okapi that lives over there with those striped legs that we're seeing, as well as the yellow-backed diker, which is like a small type of deer. I will tell you, I just saw the slightest glimpse of that animal. I have never seen that animal from the safari before.
Nope.
So that is why I said, oh my gosh, great, because I was so excited. One of our black rhinos. Something all three of those animals have in common is that they are very solitary, they're very reclusive, so they don't necessarily like to be in the hustle and bustle of the world. Hence why their habitats, you might notice, are like separated from the ride path, right? They have like their own respective space.
Something really special about this experience is that while she's sharing a lot of the information you can get when you do the Kilimanjaro safaris, and if you haven't been on this attraction before, it's a rather lengthy experience in which the driver is sharing with you, for the most part, a pre-scripted bit of information through each zone, and it's very educational based. What's great about this particular experience is that it's much more like a Q&A. So while she's giving us some really good bits of information, she's also answering direct questions about each one of the zones.
Like they were doing what we call pet hugging. So it's getting pretty close to the front. Okay, so, okay.
Look at that frog.
Oh, what? So believe it or not, we've actually already asked about 3 of them. I would say like 3 to 5 animals or milk or anything of the sort. They are only used as a status symbol. So kind of like having a really fancy car. Right, it's something that you have. You can kind of show it off to your neighbors. It makes you kind of look, they'll have shifted into one area, and then the humans can go in and clean up and put out food and things like that.
Oh my goodness, you guys, we were just told an animal care specialist is going to chat with us for a little bit for like a private Q&A. This is really freaking cool.
We give them produce and lots of different things to make sure that everything that they need nutritionally is given to them. So Twigga is 3 years old. So he is a breeding age. That is why he is out here. He is part of the species survival plan. What's definitely important about that is when we want to have baby giraffe, we have to make sure that we are working on their genetics. gone.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's another termite mound. So termite mounds are amazing for savanna animals. They are used by elephants, they are used by giraffes, they're used by a whole bunch of different animals for different purposes.
We've been sitting here because there's giraffe traffic. I didn't really know that. They told us that. But anyway, we've been sitting here for like 10 minutes beyond the Q&A. So it's been great. Like all this extra time just sitting on the savannah with all the animals. And just really cool. Really, really cool.
His name is Marley, but he eventually found his home at Animal Kingdom because he had been taken from the wild originally, but we were able to then give him a better home where he couldn't be re-released. So in rare cases like that might be the situation, but most animals that you find in ACA zoos are going to be there as part of that breeding program, whether it was that they were born in human care or... But we are pulling up to our dining platform. Let him kind of give you a lay of the land as far as what the food and everything is for you.
I'm just on crow patrol. Don't mind me. Thank you. If you know how to scare the crow, let me know.
Look at this view. This is incredible. So they did bring me my own set of tiffins that has some special things that I can use for the supplement, for the pita bread. Otherwise in the center, there's a bunch of amazing things and I'm going to show you. I'm so excited. If you like any of the food from Boma, Sanaa, Nomad Lounge, like I said earlier, it's amazing. But there's also, like I thought, 4 different South African wines. Super excited for that. I love a pinotage. There are a couple of beers. One is from Gainesville that's local and does support animals. It's harder, they said, to get beer from South Africa or from Africa in general. There is one African beer, so that's really awesome. But I love that it's all just tied in to this amazing, amazing atmosphere. This is just incredible.
This spread looks so good, you guys. Look at this. Now, they can't guarantee everything has not touched gluten. I obviously won't touch the pita bread, but I'm welcome to anything else here. Okay, so I had 2 glasses of wine, one on purpose, one on accident, but I snagged these few things from the actual table. Let's see what's inside the tiffins. All right, it looks like, so okay, there's the gluten-free bread, there's the gluten-free chocolate chip cookies, some prosciutto, some marinated olives and peppers, it looks like some pickled onions, hummus, a mango chutney, some seasoned shrimp, that looks really tasty, and then chicken salad. Oh, yum, this looks so amazing.
Super tasty, super good, great service, great information, amazing view. Like just so cool. If you like the food at Sanaa, Boma, Nomad, this is all for you. Just amazing. So good. So grateful.
This is so pretty. Okay, so we were told that there's this pathway back here and we should go check it out. There's a great viewpoint and advantage. I don't know what's back here. She didn't tell us. She just said that when we were done eating to come back here and go take a look. This is so cool. You guys, this is like behind the scenes, but not, because obviously it's all on show, but this is super cool. Oh my gosh, it's the lions. She did say there's some binoculars, and I do see some over here. They're all in use at the moment, and that's fine. But yeah, there's some binoculars so you can see, but yeah, it just overlooks the lion habitat. This is so freaking cool. Okay, they're one of my favorite things to look out for, like them. I love looking at the cheetah. I think the giraffe are kind of cool because they just kind of meander, like whatever. But this, like, look, you see him up on the rock over there? Oh, this is so cool. I feel like, I know they can't stop for very long to show us things on the safari. It is a longer attraction, but like this is priceless.
All right, so let's talk pros and cons about this experience. So now again, this is the Savor the Savanna experience. We left at 4:30. It's a 2-hour experience. I've just gotten back to the front of the park and it is 10 till 7. I did spend some time kind of meandering and just enjoying some of the sights and looking at some of the signs. So you start off with the safari, probably a good 20 minutes of the usual safari, maybe 15 minutes. But the cool thing is that we pulled off to the side. right where the giraffes are on the Savannah before you go around the corner where they usually tuck into the trees. We pulled off right before there and we got to talk to an animal care specialist. Awesome. And she was so nice. She was passionate about her job. And it's so cool to see people that happy with what they're doing and what is going on around them, and just oh God, I can't even articulate. I love talking to people who work at Disney, because a lot of them really enjoy what they're doing, especially in these kinds of capacities, and they just really get into what they're talking about, and you see that passion come out, and it's just so good. And then we scooted along, and you get to that part where you see the flamingo, and instead of carrying on towards the left, we just tucked up right to the boma, and there was bathrooms. Oh my gosh, there was water that was like cucumber, lime, and basil, and it was so good, so refreshing. I was like, I don't want to be greedy, but can I like fill my water bottle with this? Now, I have seen before where they brought out tiffins for the meals, but since that footage that I have seen on YouTube and such from other creators, what they had was actually a central table, kind of like a buffet style, where everyone came out and you got to pick from fruits and vegetables like grapes and strawberries and hard flavorful cheeses, prosciutto. There was a really great chicken salad that had like cucumber and pickled onion. There were some really great seasoned shrimp. There was hummus. Oh my gosh, there were so many things. And then in my specific tiffins, instead of having the pita bread and the other breads that you would see kind of like this bread service and such, they actually had gluten-free bread in there for me. Now, they did give me a disclaimer before we started, just saying that if it was like celiac or something where it legitimately cannot touch gluten at all, they can't guarantee that something hasn't been exposed. Something could have been in contact, even if what you're consuming isn't primarily like of a wheat gluten, base. And that's okay for me personally, but just in case anyone out there is celiac or has not just like a gluten intolerance, but like you legitimately can't touch it, that is something to keep in mind when it comes to this experience. But it was really cool. The tiffins were all separated. All the stuff was in there. They said I was welcome to have things that were at the table, though I didn't actually pull things from the table that I saw were in those tiffins. So what I grabbed was some grapes because I didn't have any. And then one of my favorite treats, I love this so much, pineapple with the tahini on top. Oh my gosh, I could eat like a bucket of those. It's so great. And there were a couple of little gluten-free chocolate chip cookies that were in there that were actually really soft, really flavorful, really nice. There was alcohol served at this. Just make sure you have your ID if you do want to consume anything. If you don't want to consume alcohol, they did have, besides the infused water, they had standard water that you could get, of course. And then they had, of course, Pog juice, jungle juice, sunshine juice, whatever you want to call it. They had that amazing, so good, tropically juice. And for a moment, I almost didn't have some of the incredible South African wine that was there in place of like jungle juice, Pog juice. I was like, then I said, no, you love South African wine. So on the alcohol note, they did have a couple of different kinds of beer there. It was really great. One of them is more local. It's from Gainesville, Florida, but thankfully they're all about supporting the animals. And if I didn't share this already, I'm going to share it now, but it was great because they're trying to partner still with breweries that are helping animals, trying to help with conservation. The other beer that was there was from Africa, so that was super rad. But then otherwise there was 4 different wines. Now keep in mind, South African wine is generally speaking a drier wine. It's not that it's not flavorful, it's just that it doesn't tend to be sweet. There was a lighter white that was a touch like not sweet but not as dry as the others. I forgot what he said it was called. And then there was a lovely Chardonnay, there was a Shiraz, and there was also a Pinotage, which is what I opt for. I actually got the Chardonnay by accident as well because she poured the Chardonnay thinking that's what I had said because we were talking and chatting and having a good time, but instead it was like, oh wait, you said the Pinotage. So I got to walk away with 2 glasses of wine and I thought, ooh, lucky me, when really you're welcome to go up there and keep getting refills of the alcoholic beverages as long as they haven't closed down the bar part of it, which they do, in time for dessert. They do give a lot of last call warnings, and then the final the dessert spread. I did not partake any of those, again, because of what I had, the cookies, and then that really awesome tahini covered pineapple. And it did look really good. It looked really, really tasty. Inside of the silver tin cup was a s'mores. It was like a deconstructed s'more, but you could see like on top of the marshmallow, it was definitely toasted. So that was really fun. Otherwise, there was like this chocolate torte thing. And then they also had a, I forgot what the other thing was. I'm so sorry, but don't they look awesome? So after we got done eating, we could take a walkway that actually led out behind the boma, which is that building structure that we sat in. And there was a viewing point that looks out towards the lions. And of course, because it's this time of night, they were sleeping, but at least they were out. And it was so great because after we left here, we circled around to actually look at the lions, and he was so cute. Not only did he like kind of like, he was like laying there chilling, but then he kind of went, and like looked up and over, and it was just so great to see his face because I've seen him and I've kind of seen his face, but most of the time they're sleeping and laying down. That's if I see them. So it was so nice to see the lions. And of course we ended just cruising through the remainder of the park. He shared a lot of information, a lot of the same things that you're going to hear on the safari. But what's really great about having this guide is that it doesn't have to be scripted. It doesn't have to be the same information that's shared on the safaris. It's very much like a private Q&A to talk all things Kilimanjaro safari. Conservation is always a big subject, and it's shared a lot, and it's just, oh, it was so good. Great food. It's amazing Disney cast members, beautiful scenery, and the opportunity to really dive in and get a lot of information about the safari, about conservation, not only from a dedicated guide, but having this awesome meet and greet with Cindy, who's one of the animal care specialists. Now, I did find out though, all the animal care specialists that are on the Savannah, like they can treat all of the animals on the Savannah. But thank you so much to everyone. It was Cindy and Megan and Jason, and and Allie drove our vehicle. Just absolutely incredible. It's funny because it's like, it's not like I'm, oh my gosh, impressed with Disney service, but I'm also always impressed. It's like you go in thinking, I know it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great. It's Disney service. And then you go and you do something and you're like, dang, that Disney service is incredible. And it was fantastic. So all that information for you. I will, of course, share what the price point is here. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment. I'm so grateful. And that's going to wrap my night here at Animal Kingdom. I'm gonna see if I can't pop over to Epcot to enjoy some like evening glow, some Spaceship Earth beacon music and lights, and hopefully walk through like the Journey of Water area. Nighttime, fewer people, all the lights, all the glowing water vibes, like, so please do whatever you can to live your version of a brilliant, bold, beautifully empowered life, whatever that looks like for you. Keep fighting for your dreams and your goals. I believe in you. Lots of love. Cheers, friends.